It's Kiss.
And Jess. Hopefully we
All
sound
these, for
better.
real, yo, all these warnings on this new platform.
I know. Oh my God.
If you
Whoa, here's
hear
another one.
what?
I
You got
just got
another
another one. It
notice?
popped up. Yeah.
Oh, what did it tell you? Did it tell you
It says
background noise?
quality check.
I didn't even read it. I just X'd them all out. I'm like, I don't got time to read this. This is
Okay, so
happening.
we are trying new things. We are trying new uh, technology.
Now that we're in completely different time zones,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
I love the word literally. Um,
Literally.
literally. Yeah, we're trying out different
Literally.
things. I literally just told Peter, you better not be sending voice messages because it's our turn.
It's
But
my
if you
time.
hear any water in the background, we are still in our living spaces because we don't got no monies for no podcast renting podcast places. You imagine if we like got
We got a
there?
studio.
I just made it to the studio.
If,
Where's
if
the
they,
studio? My unfinished basement. Woo! Where's your studio? My car.
or maybe a WeWork office. Maybe we could step up the game.
I mean, Jessica,
No.
with our 7.5 followers, 7.5.
Which, I mean, hey, I had three of our followers reach out to me about us starting.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes, same. I had some of my girlfriends from here. Oh my gosh, couldn't wait to listen. Oh my gosh, couldn't. This was like I missed it on my drive in the morning, and I had friends this weekend tell me how proud they are of you for like just having up and moved. Like they're like, man, I wish I could do the same. I'm like, I know, sis. I know. I hear that.
I got the
So
same message when I moved out to Jersey, so I guess I'm just crazy.
yeah, but your move to Jersey was for different reasons. This move to Cali is for you. So
Ye-
that,
This is true.
yeah,
This is true.
this is
And I,
this
I
was a
wasn't
good
by
thing.
myself. This time I'm totally by myself. So,
You're by yourself with point one person.
yeah.
We're gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a point one, just because he's not an adult yet.
Not quite.
I said point one. I meant to say point five. Whoa. So the other day I was talking to a friend and I was trying to explain like this laundry method, way of doing laundry. And I was like, yeah, it cuts your time in half by 80%. And she's, I don't know if you can cut it in half by 80. I'm like, yo, my mom brain. All right. What I meant to say is it cuts your laundry time like by 80% of what you had before. But just in half by 80 just sounded so good.
So what is it?
It's 80% less. Like you're wasting 80% less time doing it.
Sounds like there's a tea kettle going off in
Oh,
the
you hear
background.
it?
Hmm.
That's what it is.
Is
We're
it?
in a living. Yes. Peter likes to let it like marinate for a very long time.
Mm, whistle, whistle.
Yeah. So why would you say that? Wow.
Because it's funny.
That sounds so
Whistle.
stop. It's horrible. I guess that's a good way of teaching the spelling of the word. Oh no, but the kids will walk around. Did you hear the whistle? I can't
The
whistle.
whistle.
Oh my God, please. Ooh. All right,
You look really pretty today. Why you have so much makeup on?
Jess. This is my church makeup. I've been
By
wearing
the
it since
way,
8:30 this
not
morning.
not saying makeup makes people pretty.
I don't care. We talked about that. We said that when we would podcast that we would like make sure that our appearance, but our first episode back was a rough one.
Mm,
I hadn't washed my hair. I didn't have anything on. But yeah, this is my church makeup from this morning. And I was like, yeah, we're recording and I am now taking this off. And
I
look,
know.
a little goes a long way.
It does. What do you have? A little blush?
So I have on, I wish I had my products in front of me. I have on a little bit of eye corrector
By the way,
and
sorry,
yeah,
go to YouTube if you want to see this. Okay.
yeah, a little eye corrector. And I did put on a little bit of foundation just in this part. And I used a light eyeshadow. I did pencil in the brows a little bit, but as you can
Oh,
tell,
yeah.
do you see that little lift? That's
Mm-hmm.
clearly 8:30. So let's just bring you back down. No, because it's
Oh,
gelled on. Because I
oh.
have to use eyebrow gel because I have curly eyebrows. So I have to gel it. And then just light eyeliner. And that's about it. And I just did a little lip gloss to accentuate my dry lips.
Love it. It
So
looks
yeah,
great.
thanks.
Did you get a new couch?
Oh my gosh, we did.
A
We did, Jess. Look.
new
And it
couch.
has recliners. We are moving on up, baby
Ooh.
girl.
Oh, Alex from Love Is Blind would not like that.
I know she wouldn't. I was like, yo, that, listen,
Who
she
doesn't want a
cleared.
recliner?
So funny because the recliner is on both ends. So it's like Peter and I, it's so funny. It's like we're so far from each other. It's like the
Nice.
recliners on both ends. But it's nice because there's space in the middle for all three kids. I was literally just scratching my tush right now. Wow. I had a little itch. But yeah, but we have the nuggets, so like we can bring that over. I wanted one of those sofas that now like converts where like you could pull out it's not like a sleeper, but you could pull out like the footrest from
Mm.
underneath where it'll look like a huge bed almost, but they didn't have the specific style we wanted. We wanted a four-seater with that option, and most of them were like sectionals, but the sectional was too big for our space, so there's just a lot of thought process, but we like it and it opens up the space, which is really nice because there's three of them now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we need a space. But yeah, I cut my hair this week and postpartum has left the top of my hair very straight. I no
Oh.
longer get curls up here, which has been really rough for me. So I tried having long curls and then I was like, yo, this ain't it. So I had to go back and recut it.
Oh, it looks nice.
Thanks.
Looks good. I
But
had my paddling practice today.
I need to not call it that. I was trying to tell the girls this weekend. I wanted to tell them, yeah, and she joined a surfing club. I'm like, Kiss, you can't lie. She joined a paddling club.
Yeah, it's called paddling when you go paddling, but it's on a big ass canoe. So there's a lot of waves today. It was nice to go out
Yeah.
and you like going choo on the waves. It was fun.
And
Fun.
this is on the beach,
On the ocean.
in
Yeah.
on the ocean, in the ocean. Which
Yeah.
ocean is it, Jess? Which ocean?
The Pacific, baby.
OMG. Mm, so exciting for you.
I remember that because
Yeah.
when I used to teach third grade,
Mm-hmm.
my friend teachers and we would always make songs to
Mm-hmm.
like remember things. And one of them wrote a song for the oceans. And I remember it because we would point at the map as we would sing it. And it was Pacific, Atlantic, the Arctic, and Indian. Bum, be dum, bum.
If that doesn't catch.
Yep, yep.
Thank you for that reminder. Anyway,
Yeah. So,
we have
um,
spent 8 minutes talking nonsense. Go.
we have. I was talking to Kai a little bit ago, and he was talking about like basketball and things because he actually decided not to play basketball his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about how Kaylee didn't continue to play soccer in college, which kind of upset me a little bit as well. And then Cameron just recently decided he did not want to play baseball anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
Kai had told me, he was like, I wished that when I was younger that you would have pushed me more to like do some sports more or and so it like made me think and I'm like, huh. So I feel like I have a confession that I regret, but also feel like I might still be part doing it is like not forcing my kids. I don't know if forcing is the right word to stay in sports or after school activities enough. I don't know. Sometimes let's talk about Cameron. So Cameron all of a sudden just doesn't want to play anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
so like I tried to ask him like why and ask him questions and push a little bit, but he just is, I don't want to play anymore. I don't like it anymore. So I'm like, okay, all right. But then I was like, we need to do something else. But also, should I be pushing more? I don't know. So that's my dilemma here is I understand kids definitely should be in something, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
sports or clubs or something. We know that, right? Because otherwise you're out doing things you're not supposed to do, or you're in the house just playing video games, which is what Cameron does a lot. I don't know. I'm like at a dilemma here that I'm just like, Should I continue to push him to try baseball? Or they talk about some parents like push so hard that it makes kids
Hmm.
hate it. So I don't know. I don't know.
I know it's been a while since we've clipped these things, but I want to clip this because I'm tired of holding it. And hopefully I won't sound as loud as I did back then. And hopefully I'll sound okay.
You sound the exact same, actually.
Perfect. Remember I would laugh and it was like
But you're sitting weird. I feel like you should put it further up,
it's not wait.
like here. Yeah, there you go. Because I felt like for a minute you were like
Like
this because you
this. I
wanted
don't
to
know if it
like
feels
keep it up.
like that.
No, I think that's good. That's
Ugh,
good.
never mind. I'll hold it. It just feels weird. Okay. So funny.
Looking at.
At you. I'm looking at you. I'm so sorry. And you're looking at me.
No, is there a baby
Oh,
screen?
no, I'm looking at all three of my children.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking at all
I
the
was
babies.
like, what do you keep looking at?
I'm watching TV while I'm talking to you. I'm watching TV, catching the games, want to check the score. Speaking of sports,
Yeah,
no.
speaking.
See, it is so funny that that's
How
a
are the
confession.
Vikings doing?
I have no idea.
Um,
Yay, sports.
yay.
I was just having this conversation with my brother this week. My nieces and nephew all are like very into after school activities and sports. So my nieces play softball for their high school team. My nephew plays baseball and he's now playing for like his middle school team. But they also have played, what do you call it? Little league? Is it
Yeah.
little league or their like town or national team or whatever. So
Hmm.
they've always kept their kids in activities. They've done soccer, the girls have done dance and ballet. But we were just talking about that now that they're in high school. It's like a non-negotiable. Like they have a gym in their garage. These kids, my brother collects their cell phones and it's like, all right, it's time to go pitch, go catch, whatever, catch for
Ooh.
your sister, go outside and practice. Like they have the baseball net for pitching and for batting practice. And we talked about it, and he's my wife and I. We talk about like, my gosh, like this is expensive, and it's like these kids go to school, they come
Ah,
home, they do homework, they go to practice, then they have a game. The youngest, my youngest niece, like she's a pitcher and she's really good. She has pitching practice like with her coach to help with development. We sit and my wife and I talk. Is it worth it? He said, we
yeah.
obviously don't tell the kids that, but is it worth it? And I was like, listen, for somebody who did not play sports, and if my husband's listening, I'm not sure he'll be very proud. For somebody who does not play sports, did not play sports, I was the girl, confession, who was in AP classes and failed gym in high school. And I failed in ninth grade. And then I went to night school for gym and failed that too because I'm
Shut
like, I don't want
up.
to do this. Nope. And then my senior year, I was like, yo, they were like, you've gotten all of your credits. Like this is the only thing keeping you from having a half day. But I took gym my senior year, and instead of doing anything gym related, I became the teacher's pet, and I would grade all her papers and run all her errands and that's how I collected my points. Okay. So for somebody who did not play sports or did sports or worked out, I see the value in it
Were
because
you in
I
clubs or anything?
yes, I was
Okay.
in. I'm not even gonna talk about that's another confession.
Chess
Yes, I
club?
did
Oh
do. I wish. No, I was like in the
my gosh, I'm
um
writing it. I'm writing this topic down.
I was in the I was in like the National Authors Society or something. I don't even remember what it was called. I was also like part of this like teen mentor group to help like mediate. No, it was called mediators. That's what it was. Something mediators. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay. Okay.
all that to say, I was talking to my brother, and I was like, well, what would you rather your kids do? Be like we were, be home, doing anything? I'm like, really think about it. Had you had our dad or our mom really push you to stay in football, like you probably could have gotten a scholarship. Even if not make it like to the NFL, you could have gotten a scholarship because you were really good. But we didn't have anyone pushing us to do
Right.
any of those things. So I'm like, yeah, it's expensive and they're like the kids have no downtime or no free time. I'm like, what do they need free time for right now? When they go to college and they make their decisions on what they want to continue to do, at least you've built that foundation. And if they start slacking off, don't join a team at least they remember and know, wow, I'm letting myself go if it gets to that. I remember what it took, have the mobility, to have the strength that I once had when I was a certain age. So
I think there's also something to like being on a team and learning teamwork and learning and like having a coach. That's what I really liked about Cameron playing sports too, is like he had male coaches and he just doesn't have male
influence.
influence, yeah, around me. And he's got his brother, but let's be honest, they weren't like hanging out or anything. And there was one coach that he really liked, and I was sad that we were leaving and he wouldn't have him anymore. But right, so there's yes, the physicality of it is nice, but also just the of being on a team and learning how teamwork and all that. I don't know. So I grew up playing sports. I was played softball or whatever my entire life until high school. And then in high school, I did basketball, track, and baseball or softball.
Wow. And look at you. You're such a team player.
Oh, story's not done because I ended up quitting all three of those and drinking and doing drugs in high school. So it's if I would have stayed in them, would I have still done the things? I don't know, right? Like I've always been a risk taker, but I'm not going so far to say that because like my kids, Kaylee and Kai stayed in sports, but they were also like they weren't like diehard. I wasn't like your brother. I wasn't paying for extra lessons. I wasn't paying for
Hmm.
them to do anything extra, get a pitching coach or anything like that. With Cameron, I have been. I've been paying for him to do training in the off season. So it hurt my heart to hear him say that he didn't want to do baseball anymore because we've invested a lot in the past few years.
Hmm.
And he did even tell me too, his head was like down. I was like, what's wrong? And this is hard for me to tell you. And I was just like, what? And I don't want to play baseball anymore. And I'm like, what? But I did say, okay, if you don't like it anymore, that's fine, but we need to find something else.
Hmm.
So I actually have signed him up for flag football out here. They have a league. So he'll do flag football starting in December. And then they also have like a rec. His school actually has a lot of sports opportunities,
Yeah.
and they have an after school rec league for basketball that'll start soon. So he said he would also do that. So we're trying different things, but I'm also similar to what your brother is saying is like, shh, is it even worth it to be paying for extra coaching or doing these extra things? I just spent $260 on flag football signing him up.
It's okay. Two things that I want to ask you. When you were in high school, you did these three different sports, but you quit all three of them. Who was, what's the, like, was anybody pushing you or encouraging you in terms of family, not coaches, in terms of family? Was anybody there really pushing or encouraging you or watching you or keeping track of your schedule?
My mom, yeah,
Was she super hands on how you have been with Cam?
not super hands-on. So my dad was actually my coach growing up in
Okay.
softball. So he was my softball coach up until I was probably 13.
Okay.
And so he was involved then. And then once I got into high school and I started to do those sports, I just did them because I liked them. I also quit band in middle school too.
Oh my God.
I'm a
I mean, I
quitter.
can't talk. I've quit everything that I've started, so I can't judge.
So yeah, my mom was always at my games and taking me and stuff. And then when I wanted to quit everything, she did like she didn't really push me, but she was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, why? What else are you doing?" Blah blah blah. But it was never. I could basically decide what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I never really had. I had a little bit of support, but nobody who was like
He found
you're
the
gonna.
brush.
Oh,
It was where I said,
in the bottom of dishwasher.
no, inside of the chicken that he seasoned. Peter.
Oh.
Okay, so now to that question, do you think that Cam wanted to quit baseball because he had spent so much time not doing it, especially in the summer? And when you go to the gym and you're like really invested, it's like, yo, I'm in it, it's a routine, and then you don't go for a month, you're like, my gosh, it's so hard to get back into it. Do you think he was like, I don't want to do it because he hasn't done it in so long?
I think it was a combination of that as well as he didn't really know anybody on the team, and then also a lot of the people on the team were really good. And they've clearly been playing for years and years, and he's new to
I
the
remember you
sport.
said that.
So I think it's a combination of a lot of things. But
Mm,
he's just said, I don't enjoy it. He doesn't enjoy being out on the field.
okay.
So I get that.
All right. As
Yeah.
long as that's not an excuse to get out.
Yeah, no.
Um,
So I'm still making him do other things, but I'm just hoping we're in eighth grade now. I'm wondering, like, once you get into high school, what if he doesn't want to do any?
if we're being honest, like it's so much easier to not to do anything. It is so easy to not do anything. It's so easy to come home, but it's like Kai said, I wish you would have pushed me. This is a non-negotiable. Like when you get out of high school, then you can make your own choices, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
you said something like my brother. So my brother pays for my niece's development because she is very good, and he knows, okay, she is very good. She has potential. She's only in 10th grade. If for that, like he's willing to do it, but I think if it was just to play the sport, yeah, you probably wouldn't. I do want you to do something, but I'm not going to sit here and pay for development if I know you're not like good, right? Which I think
Yeah.
is also important because there's some parents, or many parents nowadays, who think their child's going to make it, and the percentage is very slim to none. But yeah, that aspect that you had mentioned earlier, like the aspect of just joining a team and being a part of a team, like Peter and I have that conversation a lot. Like when we have disagreements, we'll be like, "You were never part of a team, so you don't get it." You're right. I don't. I have no idea. I don't get
That's
it,
why
but
you're
it
such a
doesn't make
bitch.
sense.
To know how to play with others.
That's why I cannot play games. My competitiveness, I probably could have played tennis.
There you
I would have
go.
been great at that. I'm just one person, one man show. But
Or
yeah,
golf.
or golf. Yo, you imagine? Mm. But yeah, I hear that and I understand that. I don't like also the word you had said like force. Yeah, like force is not a kind word, but I definitely like push. Like you should push. I definitely think you should push him to you got to do something because you cannot just be home. I would tell my brother that look at how like we grew up, like by the grace of God, we turned out well. But same thing, like my friends were doing things that they should not have been doing. Like God's hand was protecting me to not have gotten involved in a lot of the things that I saw when I was a teenager. But I wish I would have, in hindsight, I wish I would have stuck with something. So, like, our oldest is 6 years old now. I don't play sports. I could barely dribble a ball. I do go outside and try to shoot when I feel like it, but you better believe that when it's time to train, like I'm right behind Peter on that. No, it's time. You got to do your exercises. It's a non-negotiable, ma'am. You got to put in work, little girl.
I showed Cameron the video of her
Yeah.
in her basketball drills. Oh my gosh. I said, look at Ro. Oh, sorry.
She did.
Look at
So
R.
yes, she didn't want to yesterday. Like the weekends are really hard, right? Because the weekends you want to be home, you just want to play. So Mondays over the summer, Mondays were really hard for her to get back into that routine. But yesterday, I had stepped out and I brought the girls something, and then I took them out with me to the grocery store, and I asked her like, "Hey, I heard you were crying. Why were you crying?" "Oh, because I didn't want to do 3 exercises. I only did one." I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "I brought you something. It's not your birthday. It's not Christmas. You don't deserve this thing. And you couldn't do your exercises, like something that you do this quickly." I'm like, "All right." So I texted my husband. I was like, "Hey, can she finish these when she gets home?" He's like, "Yeah." We got home. I was like, give me your thing that I brought you. You have work to do." This girl dribbled 100 times. Just could barely dribble 10 times. And it wasn't even just straight dribbling. She was dribbling and talking. And I'm like, I'm telling my other daughter, no, don't talk to her. No, she needs that. She needs to be able to concentrate while also being distracted. I'm like, she's just so amazing. Our thing is not so much she basketball's life. No, it's we want her to develop the skills for later on for her to decide what sport she's going to enjoy and do that. Because the way that we grew up, my husband's mom did put them in sports. She was on top of them with that, but you can only be on top of your child so much. But for us, it's no, this is it. There will be no phone, there will be no TV, there will be no things like you there's more to life than that. And I would love, especially for my girls, to learn how to be a part of a team. That's not something that I ever had. There was no money for me to join anything. I remember telling my mom, I want to join cheerleading and I want to join this and I want to join that. It's okay. But it was on me to look up the teams or whatever, like fill out the papers in middle school. I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And I did join cheerleading and I quit that really quickly because I'm like, oh, this is hard, but nobody was pushing me to do it. So
Yeah.
I 100% agree. You should push him to pick one of the
Okay.
sports. I
Yes.
know
So
he's very different from Kai. His
I was very
personality is very different.
self-motivated.
Yeah. So, but this is your job as a parent. Like, Peter and I have seen both sides of it in our family. Like, the parents are like, no, they didn't want to do it, so we let them quit. And we've also seen the side of you don't have a choice. Like, you live under my roof, you're not quitting. And we've seen the kids like become something,
Hmm.
actually get scholarships, actually make it to the major leagues. Like, we've seen that. So, yes, you could say what you want, and yeah, oh, you're pushing your child to. If we don't push them, who will? You know, let society push them? Nah, I'm straight. I mean, this is also again coming from somebody who did play a lick of sport. But in my defense, I had no one on my
Hindsight.
corner.
Hindsight's 2020.
I had no one on my corner. You say that, and I have. So our youngest daughter, we tried like getting her involved in like basketball and stuff, and that girl is so strong-willed. But she's such a perfectionist, so it's been very hard to get her to try things because if she doesn't get it right the first time, she wants to fail. She just wants to give up immediately. So over the summer, we found like a silver lining. We found something she enjoyed, gymnastics. She loved it. She was good at it. Granted, she's 4 years old. Did she listen? No. Something else we're working on. She does not want to follow the crowd. She just wants to like lay on the mat and go to sleep. But she did it. She spent the hour in the class, which was like a big deal. Okay, you made it there. So something that we've talked about is she's not fully understanding because she's so little, but she will get to a point where she will get to a point where you're gonna have to choose something and stick with it because if it was up to her, that girl would stay home and watch TV all day long.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't fail in TV. We know that. You're not doing that.
No.
That's not it.
You can't fail in TV.
You can't. But this summer I did like mommy school, and at the beginning it was so hard to get her to practice
Mommy
her let.
school?
Yeah, they call it escuelita de mami. Like they would do sports with dad and school with mom. I'm a teacher. I can't not have my kids like practicing their letters and writing and numbers. The summer slide is real. So
Seems a little
she
sexist, but okay.
how
Oh, dad has the sports.
again, I played no sports. You
But
want me to
I did. I would want to be the sports.
absolutely not. Jessica, I'm a teacher. I love to teach. Call it what you want. Yo, Peter, Peter would sit there and he would try. This is not for me. Stick with the high school kids. I am not. I am
Yeah.
not for elementary. Why you walk? Why you gotta walk over here? This man swears he took his shirt off. What you want the
Does
world to
he
see?
want to be on our podcast?
do you want? Do you want to? Do you want to be on our podcast? You do. Yeah, you do make too much noise. Oh my gosh, Pete, look, can I tell you? Can I tell you the adjustment that my wonderful husband made? Super sidebar.
Yeah.
So there's three kids that I got to get ready every morning, and the majority of us know like men are very loud, especially in the morning. So I asked him, can you please just get ready downstairs? You think you're not being loud, but you are so loud, and we have 100-year-old home, so the floors upstairs every single creak. So I'm just very proud. He took one for the team. He gets ready downstairs now.
Oh,
Makes my and the baby sleep. The little one sleeps. I don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn with him.
nice.
Anyway, so yeah, over the summer we tried doing school with her, and she was like, "I don't want to." No, this is not an option. I need you to put in work because when you do go to school, I can't have you being that child that decides they don't want to do anything. Like And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I pushed her to do that because we've taught kids like that. I can't do it. This is hard. I don't want to do it. It's hard teaching a child like that, knowing that you have 18 other kids that you have to deal with, 20 other kids that you have to deal with. But yeah, call it what you want, sexist or
Yeah.
not. It was great.
I think, and also struggle is what helps you grow.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have to go through struggle.
Yeah.
All right, I'm spring baseball season will come up again and we'll see. I'm gonna play it by ear to see if he wants to maybe try spring baseball, but
I'm
we'll see.
wondering too, like the whole like the grass isn't green on the other side. Maybe he'll try these other sports and be like, actually, I actually do like baseball.
Yeah,
No.
we'll play it by ear. We'll
How
see.
do you feel about driving, the aspect of driving around?
I actually feel like I have it good because my kids are like now my kids are so far in age that I just
Hmm.
have one kid that I'm having to drive, which is not it's not too bad. I have
Hmm.
a friend who has her two girls are pretty 2.5 years apart, but she's constantly driving. This one has to go here. This one has to go here. This now we have this. Now we have tournaments. I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't think I would like that.
So Kelly and I were talking about that recently. Shouts to Kelly.
Hey,
She
Kelly.
she listened to our last episode and she texted me. She's like, "I'm the white friend."
It's
You're
so
so
funny.
dumb.
She texted me after our episode too.
You are, Cal. You are. Um, Sorry, I have 10%. So we've talked
Wrap it
about that.
up.
We talked about that idea of driving around, like how that can discourage you and just make you want to quit. Like it's so much easier to be home. I was telling her like putting K in gymnastics, like we tried it and then school started and I was like, I can't do this. I have a baby at home. This is just too much. Where R does her stuff like here with her dad and she was doing jujitsu, but dad would take her and I'm like, man, they're gonna get to an age where yeah, that girl did jujitsu. We're gonna get to
Wow.
an age who's really good too. They're gonna
R?
get to an
Okay.
yeah, R.
Oh,
We're gonna get
nice.
to an age where I'm gonna have to drive all three of them because he coaches and I'm like, that is gonna be life. Am I prepared for that? How do I ensure that I can be positive through that? Because that is very hard for me when I'm stressed to just be positive, to show like this is good. We're enjoying this. We're gonna do these activities. Because the girls get home now, we're home by 2:30. 2:30 to 8 p.m. is a long day. Monday through Friday. And I'm like, I can understand why people do activities,
Yeah.
but it's hard to do them every day.
I
But
think,
anyway,
yeah, there's a lot into it's like the time commitment of having your kids in sports, the financial commitment that you have to give to the sports equipment, the training, like just signing up, the uniforms. Like I've spent so much money on cleats and baseball
mm,
pants and belts, and now I'm just like, I literally just bought a new pair of cleats before this. I'm like, but then also just like we're saying, like the like mental commitment of it too, of like when they want to quit or when you have to train them a little bit at home or continue to have them do workouts at home and things. So it's a lot. Having your kids and things is there's benefits, but there's a lot of freaking commitments
mm-hmm,
too from our
yeah,
ends, which is hard.
everything's hard. Let us know what you guys think. What
Yeah.
are your pros and cons? Would you push your child to do sports at what age would you start them? Honestly, what age for seasoned parents? What age would you start them? For those that have little ones, what are your thoughts? What are your sport choices?
Or even activities, because they don't have to be sports, right? It could be,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at you and I'm
oh,
like, is she wearing a onesie? What are you wearing?
a hoodie.
Oh, got it. Oh, Aspen. All right.
Aspen.
Anyway, let us
Okay.
know. Subscribe.
That.
I've been through that a lot with the baby. That's why.
Does he laugh?
He does. He does it back. He was like this.
Oh, that's
Love him
that's
so much.
beautiful. That's gonna be our screenshot right there, is that face.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right. Love
Luke,
you, Jess. Miss
Luke
you.
wants to join.
Oh,
Hey,
oh my gosh.
get off me.
It's like a whole person.
Okay. Bye. Till next time.
Bye.